Hi, everybody. I'm Stacy Beasley, and today I'm going to share with you about writing in the social sciences, especially about APA formatting and how to cite an online book. Let me share my screen. There we go. Okay. So when we think about APA formatting, I want you to remember that it's a style of documentation of sources used by the American Psychological Association, using the social sciences like psychology, sociology, and anthropology, just to name a few. So what I want to show you is how to cite an online book, whether you're using a library or Google Scholar or an app like LibriVox or Libby. So one of the things you need to think about is whether or not the ebook that you're looking at is available in print. If it is, great. If you can obtain it, then you can just cite the regular way. However, if you can't obtain it, or it's limited for whatever reason, and you have to use an online book, then this is how you would cite it. So your in-text citation would be a last name, comma, and then the date that it was published. However, on websites, oftentimes there is no date. So you just put N, lowercase n, period, D, period. And so here is something that influenced my thoughts. A medicine man's dance is secret. Only close family and the ill person are allowed to view it. And then at the end of the statement is the author's last name, Duff, comma, no date, period. And so after reading some of this is a picture of the website where the ebook was located. And so after reading just this, first section, I was able to obtain this bit of information. So that would be something that you could write in a paper, of course. Then at the back of your paper where the reference section is, you would put author's last name, the initials of the author's first name, the date published. And so in this case, it would be no date because we don't have an actual date. And the title and retrieved from the web address. So we see here, author's last name, no date, the title here, and the words retrieved from, and then the web address in which it's located. Now, one of the things that's important for you to know is that sometimes when we use online databases or libraries, sometimes, it's not openly available to everybody. And so let's say if you were to use the Alamo website or another college website, you would write available from, because not everybody can click on that particular link and go there, because you have to have permission to use that website. Or if you paid for it, like say you used Amazon and purchased a book and it was only available on the Amazon website for whatever reason, it's very hard to get a hold of, you would write available from rather than retrieved from. Okay. So this is just a larger image of the previous picture. So you can see that this is at the top left, the web address where this book is located. And if you look in the middle of the page where it says copyright, there is a copyright day of 1922. You would not use that because you do not have the book in hand. If you had the book in hand, you could definitely use that copy, but because it's hard, it's over 100 years old when it was published. So these kind people at this library here were able to get a permission to write it up and put it on their website. And so you would use their website address as the publisher. So when citing an online book, and I grabbed this from the NLC website, you could just go to the website, search for ebooks, and I put in sociology and came up with a lot of ebooks. So I found one that I have here in my own personal library called The Color of Law. And so you can also find ebooks on personal websites or other databases, and even in audio form. This is how you would do it. So using the Alamo website, if you were just to click details on this particular book, it would show you more information about the author's last name or the author information and publisher. So Here it is, where I click details in this image here. So in this, when you use this book, if you were to use this book in writing a paper, you would use in the in-text citation would be the author's last name, comma, 2017 would be the year it was published. And you can see that here on the right where it says what release date, May 2nd, 2017. And so here's a statement from that book that I can make. The Public Works Administration segregated housing projects in places in the United States that were not previously segregated. And that's according to Rothstein 2017. That information is found in this book. At the end of your paper, you would write in the reference sections, author's last name, first initial and a period, the year it was published, the title, and then because I pulled this book from a website that you have to have permission in order to use the website, I wrote available at instead of retrieved from. So available at, and then the web address. So just remember, use your resources. If you have questions or concerns, you can contact me through email, or we can make a Zoom appointment. You can also use the library's website. You can walk in, you can call them, you can chat or email with them. And then, like always, you can also use the OWL at Purdue website to look at how to cite APA or even MLA, and using APA format. There's a really comprehensive style guide located on their website. And just a reminder, and this teaching is aligned with our core values in that, we put our students first and we have respect for everybody. We're engaged in the community. And this is one of the ways that we are engaged is by learning how to do these things correctly, by citing our sources and collaborating with those around us and being data informed. This is where we got the information. This is the data. You can go there if you like. Here's the web address. Here's the author and year it was published, publisher information, all that is aligned with our core values. And finally, you can do it. So you can do this. If you have questions, you know how to contact me, and yeah, have a wonderful day. Bye.